You remember that game that we played a year ago? A lot of people thought it was Zelda from the thumbnail, which I do admit it does have a very similar artistic style to it. However, this was actually that Battle Mage Battle Royale game called Spellbreak. Now, this game really interested me because number one, it was one of the few BR games that I actually enjoyed. And number two, you're a battle mage. Like, don't get me wrong, I like first-person shooters, but this is an interesting concept. The fact that you have these different elemental gauntlets throughout the map, you can wield a primary gauntlet and a secondary gauntlet, you can combine spells together, you have different runes, certain runes can make you fly, other ones can teleport you. The entire concept around Spellbreak's system was very intriguing, and we had to cover it. However, one of the biggest complaints in that original video that we made was that Spellbreak was a battle royale game, and a lot of people, especially last year, were just battle royale fatigued. It seemed like every game that was coming out had a BR mode. Well, for those folks specifically, I would like to introduce Spellbreak's new game mode that just launched this month with Chapter 2 called Dominion, aka Control. For most of my Destiny players, you know exactly what this is. Capping zones, holding zones, and getting kills in the process means dubs all day. And for my folks that did not like the BR mode, Dominion is perfect for you. Now, I do want to disclose right now that this video is being sponsored by Spellbreak. However, I will say, I would have just covered this game for free. I mean, seriously, we did it last year for free. I was a big fan of it. We even streamed Spellbreak there for a few days. The only reason why we didn't even cover this most recent chapter that launched with Spellbreak is that I didn't even know it existed. Amongst all the news of different games that have been coming out here recently, as well as other expansions coming up, and I know Destiny really takes up a lot of our time, the announcements of Spellbreak's new game mode completely eluded me. So big shout out to them for reaching out to us and sponsoring today's video, as this is definitely a game mode that I think some of you who are a fan of this battle mage concept might actually be willing to give Spellbreak a try. And if you would like to try this game out, down below in the description is a link. And if you're concerned about whatever platform you may be on, don't worry about it. Spellbreak's actually present on all platforms, even Steam now. That's right, Epic Games, Steam, Xbox One, PlayStation, as well as the Nintendo Switch, and it's cross-play for all platforms. Yeah, it's the future, baby. Now, Chapter 2, which launched earlier this month, is Spellbreak's biggest release. Not only did they release this new game mode called Dominion, they actually released a rank system of Dominion. That's right, Spellbreak, a free-to-play battle mage game, has a rank system. Now, it still has its battle royale mode, which is still fun, but sometimes you don't have like 20-30 minutes to dedicate, because a BR game, especially if you're going long, can eat up a bunch of time. Dominion is fantastic for like my players that are a fan of arena shooters, that like things to be a lot more action-packed. And on top of that, I find that Dominion, especially like the casual playlist, is a great playlist to kind of dip your toe into this battle mage game, because a lot of things are happening here. You got spells going everywhere, and by no means am I an expert, but where the game really starts to separate itself in its skill gap is when you start combining spells. That's where the game really starts to pick up. What makes Dominion such a good mode to really like understand the mechanics of the game is the fact that you can, of course, still choose your primary gauntlet. But what I love is like before the game even starts, the ability to just go through a number of different things to bring into the Dominion game mode. If you want to choose a specific rune, go right ahead. If you want to choose a secondary gauntlet or swap out your primary gauntlet for a higher tier one, you can do that. And if you don't like any of the options in front of you, you have an option to re-roll. What's so great about this is that you have a little more influence on what you bring into this Dominion game mode, where it's like the BR mode is completely dependent on RNG and whatever you find on the map. Now, overall, I played a lot of just like the casual Dominion mode, which was fun. A lot of people just kind of running around, capping zones, getting kills, but the game greatly picks up in difficulty in its ranked mode, which I know in today's promo, Spellbreak wanted me to like really focus in on ranked. Dude, I got slapped. Folks in ranked, man, know how to combo spells like crazy, but it's got a true rank system that goes up when you get dubs and it goes down when you get losses. I'm still a nice crispy bronze, and that's probably where I'm gonna stay. Now, as far as the Dominion game mode, similar to Control from Destiny, you have 3 points. You cap them, you kill enemies in the process, and you keep enemies from recapping those points. But simultaneously, throughout the map, you have a number of like ads, other battle mages that are just NPCs that drop loot when you kill them. So if you really want to get the best loot, you don't want to just sit on the cap with whatever your default loadout is or whatever you chose before you began your Dominion game. You really want to go around, kill some of these NPCs, and pick up whatever loot they drop, as they can drop anything from potions to shield potions to other gauntlets, as well as a number of upgrade scrolls for those 3 talent selections. And again, those talent selections, like what you choose from them, carry over into this game. And I know we like covered cover this in our original Spellbreak video, but these are all like different ways of which you can kind of like beef up your character before ever stepping foot into either Dominion or the Battle Royale mode, which I like this. I like a little more influence outside of the game, as to me, it kind of rewards your time commitment versus just your player ability within those game modes. Overall, guys, Spellbreak, man, it has a meta. Like, it for real has different changes that occur in its sandbox. I'm not quite sure how often Spellbreak actually updates their sandbox, but things have changed drastically. Like, I was using different things gauntlet-wise that I wasn't really using last year. Like, one of my favorite combos last year was actually Fire and Toxic together, and I love Stone. However, returning this year, dude, I think Ice is probably my favorite. Like, in terms of its mobility, especially in Dominion mode, like when you just want to get around the map super fast and you don't want to depend on a rune to do it, Ice Gauntlet is by far the best. And then Wind, dude, I remember Wind last year, suck it. I was actually finding some pretty decent success with it. So overall, Spellbreak has evolved. It is a live game, and it kind of blows my mind because I'm like, how does this game really make money? I know it's got a shop, it's got like a battle pass system, but look, I unlocked so many rewards throughout this game just by playing the game. So it's interesting how much this game actually gives you just for being a player. And as someone who's recently complained about monetization, it's nice. At the same time, depending on your skill level, you can get killed very, very fast, like insta-banked. And it really shines with the combo spells. Like, if somebody comes in with the right combo, they will light you up. And that's where this game really actually separates itself from pretty much any other game I've played, is the elemental combos. I think one of my favorites is still Fire and Wind, simply because they both amplify each other and create like a super explosion. But then you got other ones too, like Toxic and Fire, which has like an instantaneous explosion. And there's a ton of other combinations that pull from Stone or Lightning, as well as Ice, all of which really creates the skill gap in this game. And that's something that I really like to preach a bunch, that the skill gap needs to be present and also needs to be more rewarding to the player with the most time commitment. So guys, that is Spellbreak. Dominion is your new game mode. For those that didn't like the BR mode, try it out. For my players that really enjoyed Zone Control from Destiny, voila! And again, big shout out to Spellbreak for sponsoring today's video. And by the way, feel free to check out the link below, guys, if you're interested in Spellbreak's Chapter 2. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.